All right, welcome to 49ers Live. I'm Professor B here. Welcome to 49ers Live. We are here at Pete's Coffee. We're going to have a very short show. We're going to just give you what's going on around the 49ers. And we're going to have a special feature on Niners Radio 49. We're here at Pete's Coffee here in San Francisco. We're going to have a very special feature, two features to be exact. You're going to really like it. This week, of course, it's the birthdays of two 49er legends. Jerry Rice was a couple days ago. He just turned 63. And then Steve Young was last Saturday. So we got to get those birthday shots of the two greatest, the greatest passing duo, wide receiver duo in NFL history. So we're gonna have that, and then give you some 49ers news. We're gonna start off with some 49ers news as we're here on Niners Radio 49. And as always, for Niner fans, if you want to come on. If you want to come on to check us out, youtube.com/@NinersRadio49, youtube.com/@NinersRadio49, and then you please click the subscribe button. Click that subscribe button, you watch all the content as well. So hope you guys tune in. And just a reminder, coming up tomorrow there will be a nice event. The official drink of your San Francisco 49ers. So right now we're going to get into some of the 49ers news. 49ers news, just 49ers news as the Niners are trying to adjust to life without Fred Warner on the field. I believe he had his surgery today, and he's going to be out for the rest of the year. But the good news is the 49ers will and should and will get George Kittle back for Week 7. As he will return against the Atlanta Falcons for this important game. The Niners try to bounce back after that loss to the Buccaneers on Sunday. However, there is However, the news on Brandon Ayuk, a reporter under fire for false report on Brandon Ayuk, and this is why I try not to, as a podcaster, try to keep things between no false misinformation. Especially these players, they got their own private life. We're always going to respect their private life. As a broadcaster, we don't want to know but the Niners off to a strong start, 4-2 atop the NFC West, showing a good rest of the season. Could see the team return to the playoffs after a one-year absence, dealing with injuries and several key starters. 49ers early season success considering all of the circumstances. One of the 49ers injured is Brandon Ayuk, who suffered a gruesome knee injury in Week 7 last season, has yet to play in 25, signed to a 4-year, $100 million contract extension before that injury. The 49ers hope that they can get their star pass catcher back sooner rather than later. Since he's been out, there have been reports there have been drama between Ayuk and the 49ers, and according to an October 15th report from NBC Sports Bay Area, Jennifer LeChan, the drama between Ayuk and the 49ers took another turn. However, the report was proven false. Chan now under scrutiny. And this is from Jennifer Lee Chan. We're going to try to pull this up. This was from Jennifer Lee Chan on that Ayuk deleted all references to the 49ers social media accounts, sparking speculation is on his way out of San Francisco after his return from the injury. Chan used the quotes from Kyle Chan and general manager John Lynch earlier in the season, and even that they said that Ayuk hasn't been in 49ers practice in weeks. A story came out of NBC Sports Bay Area where it posted that the story of the social media accounts. The star whiteout and deleted all evidence from 49ers Instagram account, from his Instagram account, and has unfollowed the team. Chan said the original story that is not a phenomenon. Ayuk has unfollowed the franchise before doing his holdout. So just when you, as a broadcast reporter, when you're going to do stuff like that, just be careful what you have to be careful out there. Be careful what you put out there. I'm going to try to put it up on our big board. Video screen is, and that was courtesy of we are going to continue on Niners Radio 49. So that is some of the news coming out. Hopefully they get this thing straight. But when I'm doing podcasts and stuff like that, I always want to be careful not to be biased or not to give good. I do the best I can possibly get. And more importantly, I always want to fast check any references, anything that has any of that report. If it's not accurate, I will not post it. So we always got to be careful because we don't want no misquote. Maybe this is blown out. This is blown out of proportion, and So So I just really, we want to be very, very considerate. So we just, we're going to let's take this quick time out. I'm going to take a time out. I just need to get a little drink some water so I can get back on track. Professor B here. We'll take this quick time out and we'll be right back right after this. You're watching 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. Welcome back to 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. Professor B here. As we continue on Niners Radio 49, we just a reminder that the team was off today on Monday or on Tuesday. This is his regular day off, and here are the players' day off. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, it will be the 12. Kyle Shanahan will come to the podium down at 49ers headquarters tomorrow at 12:40. He'll be the preview of the Niners and the Atlanta Falcons. Then it will be, we're going to also try to get Raheem Morris from the Atlanta Falcons, Falcons.com, from the preview of the Niners and the Atlanta Falcons. And then the practice will be open to the media. And then we'll have the coordinators segment on Thursday. It will be Robert Saleh. And following Saleh will be Clay Kubiak. And then Friday, Kyle Shanahan will speak to the media on Friday afternoon, and then and that will be that on Friday, the final injury update. So we will now take a look at a special 49ers segment. We're going to take a look back at a shout-out birthdays related to Jerry Rice, who just turned 63 on Sunday, and then Steve Young on last Saturday, turned 64. So let's start off with the greatest wide receiver of all time, the Hall of Famer class of 2010, Jerry Lee Rice from Mississippi Valley State. And we're watching 49ers Live, and this is Jerry Rice, and it's Jerry Rice who we... And this is the video courtesy from NFL Films back in 1996. That's a special shout out as Steve Stable talking with the great Jerry Rice about his career. Hope you enjoy the clip, which watching on Niners Radio 49, which this
Now, you're not even out of breath.
No, I mean, good.
How often do you do this?
Every day.
You do this mountain every day?
Well, we run this hill 3 times, then we're on the track for 2 days, and I think it's really starting to pay off for me. You know, this is something I've been doing for a long, long time.
Jerry Rice trains like a rookie, fighting to make the team, not a superstar headed for the Hall of Fame. He never misses a workout, never takes a day off. It's the pattern of his life.
Jerry Rice wakes up this morning. I can tell you exactly how he woke up this morning, and he said, someone's getting better than me. And he went running out to work out, and that's the way he is.
If there is no struggle, there is no progress. For Rice, the satisfaction is not getting to the top. It is staying there.
This is the foundation, and if you don't make it through this part, the risk of injury goes up dramatically. And this is part of building that solid foundation. If you can master this hill, you can be that much more of a factor to your team.
When you talk about Jerry Rice and what he means to the 49ers, it's like talking about San Francisco and you say, what does the Golden Gate Bridge mean to the city? It means everything. He personifies what we hope to produce in terms of on-the-field performance, and he personifies everything that the 49er image has been built and has been intended to convey.
Now, when all the audience thinks of Jerry Rice, you think of, number one, the greatest receiver who ever played the game. You think, 2, work ethic. What good does this do help you catching passes? I mean, running up a mountain like this. How does this, translate into those great one-handed grabs?
I think it challenged me mentally and physically, because if you can endure this hill, you can endure anything, because you're going to be tested. That's just like the 4th quarter and you got a minute left in the ball game. If you're tired, either you're going to quit or somehow you're going to dig down deep and make that play to win the football game.
Here's Montana throwing for the end zone. Rice late. He got it. Touchdown 49ers.
When Rice is in a position to win a game, He remembers what got him to that point.
Down the sideline. He's high, 77 yards. Touchdown pass to Jerry Rice.
Do you have some sort of little voice inside of you or some motto that you keep repeating to do this for this long and to get the level of excellence that you've achieved? You must have something inside of you saying, repeating over and over.
I think it never quit. You know, if you get into that quitting mode, when you're tired, you're going to stop. Whenever I challenge this hill, I make it a purpose not to quit. You never want to really get it inside you, okay, I'm tired, I can quit now. When I'm running this hill by myself, if there's no one else around, I'm not going to quit.
Best part of my workout is when it's all over. From a physical standpoint, Jerry Rice has incredible stamina. Part of it's just God-given, part of it's conditioning. But he has stamina that takes him through a 20-game season. He can just strictly out-muscle and out-move his opposition because of that stamina.
Rice's workouts are the reason for his endurance and longevity. In the golden age of the receiver, he is the unquestionable leader of the pack.
Highway 101 belongs to Jerry Rice. Next exit, Hall of Fame. Rice is there, and he's into the end zone. He's done it. Jerry Rice is the touchdown scorer of the century. Rice has it. James Lofton is the #1 receiver in career yardage ever.
With his work ethic, Rice raises his level of play every season. In 1995, he broke 4 more NFL records, 2 of which came in the regular season finale. Most yards in a season and most catches in a career. Rice simply shows no sign of slowing down.
You know, if I didn't love this game, I wouldn't be doing this.
Jerry, I saw a piece about you once where it said how meticulous you were. What bothers you most about your appearance? I mean, if there was a mirror right here and you looked into that mirror and you wanted to change something about yourself, the way you look, what would it be?
My uniform, it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
My jersey, my pants, you notice if I get tackled, I'm up, I'm tucking my jersey back in my pants.
But didn't you wear one of those towels once? You had one of those long things that looked like a tail.
I like to look good, to play well. It motivates me, and I feel if I go out there and I feel good about myself, I'm really going to make the plays and win the football game.
Look good, feel good, play good. Rice has been doing that for 12 years. He's succeeded in all situations.
Do you have anything like you would do in the cold weather? Because, I mean, some of your greatest games have been the weather. You wonder how you can catch a ball, you know.
You know, I think the playoff game back in Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, you know, it was so cold there. I came out, was all pumped up, ready to play the game, and, you know, I put those long sleeves on, all of that trying to keep warm. In cold weather, I think what I can do well is, like, cut.
Yeah.
And there's not many players out there that can cut when the field is frozen. So that's, like, a advantage for me, and I think, you know, by me cutting like that, I can get the separation that I need.
What do you mean when you say separation? You hear that word a lot. So what does that mean?
Separation is like, you know, being able to run full speed and make a cut and not stop. You know, I try to come out of my cuts 1 or 2 steps, and I think.
How often do you practice that?
And
that's another routine that you do, right? Another practice routine.
You know, my trainer. You know, we always doing cone drills, and I think it helps me a lot because it really helps me to get out of my cuts. And if you can run good routes and you can get out of your cuts, you know, I don't care if you're not that fast, you're going to be able to get open and catch the football.
Young goes back to throw, launches it down the right side. Rice is there. Oh, my! A one-handed catch down the sideline. One of his greatest catches.
Jerry Rice is a perfectionist. You watch his head. His head, when he runs a pattern, his head never moves. Because what happens is you don't want your head to be bouncing up and down, because when your head bounces up and down, then your eyes bounce up and down, then the ball, as you're looking at the ball, starts to bounce up and down. And if you look at Jerry Rice's head, he can run full speed and make moves, and his head doesn't move at all. That's something that is not natural. There's nothing that he's accomplished or achieved that he hasn't worked harder than anyone else for.
Jerry Rice, the living embodiment of the principle, Practice makes perfect.
Right, that was Jerry Rice, recap of his career with the San Francisco 49ers. Jerry Rice, who, a list of just the greatest of all time. You look at his numbers, born October 13th. Actually, his birthday was yesterday. October 13th, 1962. Happy birthday, Jerry Rice, the greatest, 63 years old. Came into the league in 1985, played at Mississippi Valley State. He was the first round pick for the 49ers, 16th overall. Remember, he was traded. Bill Walsh traded him, went up, upgraded, traded with the New England Patriots for one of their first round picks for future. The land, they took New England's spot because the Cowboys was on deck after the Patriots. The Cowboys on deck. They were going to draft Jerry Rice, and and the investment paid off. He played 16 seasons with the 49ers, and he broke a lot of records for consecutive games of the catch. He has 3-time Super Bowl champion. He set a single Super Bowl game record for catches, receptions, and yardage in the Super Bowl. He would rewrite that play. He was the MVP of Super Bowl 23. He rewrite the record books in the Niners 55-10 shellacking of the Broncos a year later, and then he rewrote them again in their win against the Chargers in Super Bowl 29 30 years ago. And then he caught another touchdown pass in Super Bowl 37 as a Raider with the Buccaneers, and unfortunately that was their only Super Bowl. His only been on the losing end only one time. But everything from the scoring champion in '87, he set a record for touchdowns in a single season. The strike short in the 1987 season. Named the NFL All-Decade 80s and 90s team, the NFL All-Time 75th Anniversary team, the 100th Anniversary All-Time team, the Burt Bell Award winner in 1987. He was named the Rookie of the Year in '85. He was the undisputed, no doubt, NFL Offensive Player Award winner in 1987. He just finished second behind John Elway, who won the league MVP in '87. I thought Rice should have won the MVP in '87, go along with his Offensive Player of the Year award. But 1,549 career receptions, 895 career receiving yards, 100 plus games of receptions, receiving yards, career receiving touchdowns, 197. So he was only 3 touchdown receptions away from the 200. Career receiving touchdowns in the postseason, 22. That's an all-time record. Career total touchdowns, 208. And career total touchdowns in the playoffs, including the Super Bowl, 22. Career all-purpose yards, 23,546. And so many records. So many, Rice will get inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2010. So I look up Jerry Rice, the greatest of all time. Now we're going to go back in time. Another Niners radio. Take a look up the Hall of Famer Steve Young. Steve Young's career. He This was from 1999. Of course, this is Steve Young, who clips the shadow of the great Joe Montana and helped the Niners win their 5th Super Bowl in franchise history. And 1999 was kind of a period of transition. Of course, we all remember he got knocked out on Monday Night Football against the Cardinals by Aeneas Williams hit. That pretty much all but ended his career. And we're going to take a look at that on our next segment on Niners Radio 49 of the career of Steve Young. So we're going to pull this one up. This was from 1999. And we'll hope you enjoy this segment of Steve Young from 1999. So I hope you enjoy this segment.
Steve Young is the NFL's all-time highest-rated passer, and he always enjoys talking football. But this time, I began our conversation with a question he didn't want to answer. Wouldn't be a bad way for me to start this interview out. You're going to retire, right?
Right. Okay. I mean, it's like you can wear someone out after a while.
Talk of retirement started on a Monday night in Arizona.
Let's go.
Steve and Jerry Rice, the top touchdown combination of all time, put the 49ers ahead.
Get him down.
Then, the Cardinals came after Young. Steve was knocked out, and soon everyone had to face the bad news. Steve Young might be out of the game for good. That's a day he dreads, but he's thought a lot about it.
The deceleration that has to take place when you leave the game, from what I can tell from talking to others, is quite intense, because there's nothing in the world that I've been able to really see that replaces not the adrenaline. People always talk about adrenaline. It's the finality. It's the moment. It's doing something that you know the answer to now. There's a result. There's a result play to play and game to game that you can define. There's something about that immediacy that makes the game very, I mean, it can give you goosebumps just thinking about it.
We've had you mic'd for games. You're pretty tough on the guys on your team. I mean, you don't tolerate a lot of mistakes. I mean, you're pretty demanding. Do you realize that?
I probably don't realize that as much as you have the perspective of it.
Oh, NFL Films.
Steve is tough on his teammates, but he's even tougher on our film crew.
NFL Films is stupid, man.
NFL Films has become like AT&T. They've been this conglomerate corporate thing, you know?
Hey, don't forget, man, I remember you when you were the only cameraman doing the grunt work.
When you're around Steve Young, no one is safe.
The microphone's giving me funny weight problem and hurting my ankle. Could be a lawsuit.
He's always complaining about being on television and what we use.
Hey, you're supposed to check with me before you use anything.
See how funny it is when I sue him.
You know, I can tell this stuff is going to come back to haunt me.
Steve doesn't like us to show him being critical of a teammate, but you can learn a lot about him by listening to how he deals with problems during the game.
JJ, what do you got on the backside of post? If you got the post, take it. If you don't, come across the field deep.
J.J. Stokes got mad at Steve because he beat his man and Steve didn't throw him the ball. So one of the coaches came over and told Steve this.
JJ had a safety on him and he beat him.
Call him over, I'll get him frustrated.
Well, things went on, and after a while, Steve, I guess he started thinking about it. He walked over to JJ and tried to talk to JJ.
JJ.
And JJ sort of brushed him off. But being the relentless guy that Steve is, he just kept at him.
JJ.
Kept at him.
JJ.
And finally, JJ let him apologize to him.
Jay, we can all make mistakes, buddy.
And then one of the players walked over and said, Steve, why did you do that? And this is a classic Steve Young. He said,
I like my boys happy. I like my boys happy.
I rarely scream
you're
at
not a pain
anybody.
in the ass.
Yeah, I rarely scream at anybody. But what I do is I encourage loudly.
You know, he's even worse than you. He starts yelling at everybody.
Hey, Coach, I'm way better.
I know it. That's what I said. He's worse
No, but
than
I'm
you.
way better than even me before.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're pretty mellow.
I'm very mellow. When was the last time I did something really stubborn, you know?
Let me think.
You want to learn about somebody, go learn about them in front of 80,000 on Sunday and when things aren't going well. You're gonna find out a lot about somebody what you couldn't find out in a year living with them.
You got to be able to put plays together without tripping, without throwing interception. It's the little stuff, boys. Come on, it's the little stuff.
I swear every week in the NFL, there's a moment in the game where everyone in the team says, this is hard. And maybe, you know, people start looking for the bus.
All right?
Yeah, he got it good. He got it really good.
And I think every week you have to say, you know, there's so many exit doors in the NFL. I'm not looking for anything.
Steve Young is hurt. I don't know if he can get up from this one.
You have to say, we're standing in here and we're going to win this football game.
Steve Young, one of the courageous games I've ever seen in a pro football player's career. For him to do that, to get the winning score, is just the stuff of legend.
It's almost like pushing a rock uphill. You know, when you're pushing that rock uphill, if you stop for a minute and go, well, it's so, then it falls down. If you can get a majority of guys out of 11 that have that personality, good football players that have that accountability, almost irregardless of talent, man, you're going to go places.
There's a distinction between being a good player and a good leader. The leader single-handedly bails his team out of a jam, then carries the team to even greater heights. That's what Steve Young has done throughout his career. His winning touchdown pass in the 1998 Wild Card game ranks as one of the most dramatic finishes in NFL history. But becoming San Francisco's leader hasn't been an easy journey. One of my favorite movies is Robin Hood with Earl Flynn. And there's a scene where Earl Flynn comes into Sherwood Forest, and all the merry men come around. They say, oh, Robin Hood, you've come to join us. And Earl Flynn says, no, I've come to lead you. Steve has always had his own style of leadership. But when he was compared to Joe Montana, he always came up short. When Montana's career as a 49er came to a close, the team looked to Young for leadership. There was a transition from Montana to yourself. What was the biggest obstacle that you faced in gaining the respect? Now, that's a bad question. I can see
great question.
You're glazing over.
I was sighing a deep breath because of how hard it was. Yeah. I wanted to be able to continue holding that torch, but the comparisons were always going to be unfair.
To be acknowledged as the team leader, Steve, like Joe, would have to take his team to the Super Bowl. In 1994, he did just that and realized the significance of what came next.
You know, you wake up in the morning of the Super Bowl and you say to yourself that tonight, my life will be different. One way or another, my life is going to be different. That's an interesting way to feel in the morning as you're eating breakfast.
In the biggest game of his life, Steve had his greatest day. It was a flawless performance. Young threw a record 6 touchdown passes. A Super Bowl victory brought vindication. At the end of that game, you see,
All right, we apologize for we had a technical glitch on that. When we were showing you that. It's just a reminder coming up. Glad we're going to post this thing up. Coming up on this Saturday, it will be the 49ers rally. Fan rally will be at Big Al's this Saturday coming up October 18th at the. It's presented by Ticketmaster, 27 Ranch Drive in Milpitas this Saturday morning. This will be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's presented by Ticketmaster, and it's a cool event. Niners and Falcons before the Niners take on the Atlanta Falcons, and that's going to be a nice event. It's this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Check on, and this is presented by Ticketmaster. Let's just take a look around for the 49ers, our final segment. And for Steve Young, the numbers. For Steve Young, who was born on October 11th, 1961. You look at his numbers, he won the Super Bowl MVP in 1994 through 95. Offensive Player of the Year in 1992. Was a two-time league MVP in 92-94. He won had the NFL quarterback passer rating 6 out of the 7 years, and got inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame back 20 years ago in 2005. Boy, time flies by real fast. So, and so just now coming up. So now coming up will be. So the 49ers will be getting ready to play on Sunday Night Football, and that will be coming up this Sunday night. The Niners taking on the Atlanta Falcons, and we're going to cue that up in just a. So the Niners will be taking on the Atlanta Falcons for Sunday Night Football on NBC. And then, of course, that will be at 5:20 p.m. Pacific. And also, stay tuned. Football Night in America will. So that is that's going to be for the lineup for Sunday night, and we'll be back out at the tailgate for this Sunday for 49ers taping the 49ers tailgate. So we'll be out there at the Gold Bar. We'll get you ready for 49ers in the Atlanta Falcons for Sunday Night Football. Tomorrow we'll have another edition of 49ers Live. We will preview the 49ers and Atlanta Falcons. We'll hope to get somebody from the Falcons to come on, and we'll preview the Niners and Falcons sometime later this week, and our Behind the Enemy segment, so we'll get that all squared away. And also a reminder, tomorrow it will be official drink for your San Francisco 49ers. That's going to do it for now. I'd like to thank all of you for watching on Niners Radio 49. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this another edition of 49ers Live. As we're getting ready to wrap it up for another edition, we'll be back tomorrow for the team will be ready to play the 49ers and the Falcons for Sunday Night Football. That's it for now. Professor B signing off. Thank you for watching. Check us out as always on 49ers on youtube.com/@NinersRadio49 and all the latest on 49ers news. Go to 49ers.com for all the latest 49ers news. And that's going to do it. Professor B signing off. And so long. Thank you for watching 49ers Live on Niners Radio 49. 49ers Live is an exclusive presentation of the Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan. Every fan is a voice of the network, home of champions. Wishing you all a very pleasant good evening. 49ers football, faithful to the Bay.